Hi, my name is Michael Waits, and this is a special edition of Michael Talks Tech. I'm sitting here with LAIS De Oliveira.
Good job.
I feel better. The founder of a company called 8 Spaces. I believe she's based in Malaysia. How did I do?
Yes, really well. You did.
I feel really confident, by the way, now.
I'm proud of you.
So thanks for your help.
Yeah, you should let them know why I feel so proud that my name is from Brazil and no one ever pronounces my name correctly.
But nobody ever asks either.
Yeah, sometimes.
No, but this is really true. I find names really important. I know this is not really part of the conversation, but I find names really important. I think the effort to get it right is actually more important than getting it right. So some people are just so afraid, so they just make it up on their own. I'm at least willing to try.
Actually, I think I got called by my wrong name by the family of my ex-boyfriend for like 5 years.
For like 5 years, right? Every night you're there for dinner.
I cannot explain to them
I'm breaking up with you, okay? Because your mother can't pronounce my name. I can't do this anymore.
That's the only way how I could move on.
Exactly. I'm not doing this anymore.
But I love them, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So 8 Spaces.
Yeah.
What does it do?
Well, I'm inspired by community-driven platforms and sharing economy.
Right.
So the idea of both empowering individuals as businesses and offering optimization of spaces, optimization of anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's a way of building sustainable economy. So straight to the point, 8 Spaces is a marketplace for creative, productive spaces.
Creative, productive spaces. Okay.
So you can think of it as an Airbnb, but instead of accommodation, you can get a space for you to have a tea party or a brainstorming session or a meeting or simply get work done, deliver a workshop, a music class.
So is it daily mostly, or can I, if I wanted to use 8 Spaces to just say I'm going to be in KL for a month, and I need a monthly space to do some work, can I do that as well? Similar to what you said for the lodging side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the maximum amount of stay would be a monthly period.
The maximum amount of stay.
So it's similar to Airbnb. Yeah. You can have a monthly deal. Most of the requests we get though is for hourly or daily usage. Yes.
Really? Okay, I hadn't thought about that at all. Actually, I was just thinking more like daily.
For instance, surprisingly, like Airbnb highest peak of stays in the recent months was the New Year's Eve. And
so people rented a place just to have a party.
That's what I assumed. Many of those were traveling, but many people just wanted. I'm an Airbnb host. I got 3 requests of people only wanting to have a dinner at my place, to use my table and my kitchen.
Wow.
And many people are going to Airbnb for that, but many people don't have this idea yet, or the cost of the night is higher.
So instead of going to a restaurant, having somebody cook for them, like 4 couples or 8 people get together, sit at your table, cook dinner in your kitchen. Yeah. Did they clean it up?
Well, I don't know those details yet.
I haven't been home in a while.
Yeah, I think that we have such an Airbnb, you have cleaning fees.
Yep.
But in sharing economy, you assume that people treat their place as if it's their own place, your place as if it was their own.
I agree.
So normally people would clean up and they would take care of your space. The same for a meeting. Whenever people use our space for a meeting, many of the spaces that are offering the room are commercial spaces that already include services of
so the building already has services inside of it,
But if it's a private house, you'd probably be careful with it.
So could I say, so as an individual, like homeowner, let's say, and let's say I have a home office. Yeah. Or I just have a spare room.
Absolutely.
I could put like a table in there.
Yeah.
And some lights and maybe 3 laptops. And I could use 8 Spaces to rent that room out on an hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Does anybody do that?
Absolutely, yes. We have mostly private offices willing to do that, but we are curating spaces to start with. So if you offer me a dungeon with no windows and say, hey, I'm going to charge $20 so that people work from here, I don't want to offer that experience to my users.
Right, because it's a bad experience.
Absolutely. So anyone can list, yet we are going through a curation in the beginning.
You do that, right? Just like, I guess Airbnb does that, or used to do that. Yeah. But here's the other interesting thing. So there are actually businesses built entirely around the lodging space. I don't want to spend so much time mentioning their name. It's not advertising for them. It's more just to talk about your business. But if you think about it, I could go and buy 4 apartments in like a 1-bedroom apartment style building. And I could have no intention of ever living there. And I could probably build a sustainable business by just listing them on a temporary listing service.
Yes.
So do people starting to do this now in office space as well? Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Like I go to an office building and I say, okay, I'll take these 3 rooms. I build separations inside them, and then I come to you and list them. So the user experience is good.
So this hasn't started to happen as massively in the office space yet.
Right?
You have businesses which are really solid, and it's not a marketplace though. The platform also owns the real estate, such as WeWork.
Okay.
Then we have more marketplace based that is like office space for startups, such as Liquid Space.
Okay.
And then my closest favorite is Breather.
I don't know what Breather is.
Breather basically allows you finding private space for anything you need, for reading or studying. And they have an IoT element where you unlock the places with your phone and you can go anytime, anywhere in there. The difference between our business is that we're trying to make the Airbnb concept of marketplace, sharing economy, like we don't own the spaces, and allow anyone to list. I dare say that none of our competitors has made it yet. Except for WeWork, which is not a competitor, it's a different model.
What's the name of it?
WeWork.
WeWork.
They own the real estate. We are not willing to own it.
Right.
And anyways,
well, why would you? I mean, the best companies in the world, the highest margins are going to be if you don't own the inventory. I think.
If you don't own.
Yeah.
Well, for the short term in real estate, you get 80% or 90% of your revenues if you own the space. So for short-term orientation,
fine, so you're doing the reverse.
Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah.
So for people who are short-term oriented, they would want to own it, and they actually capture money earlier. You need to have, but it's also very capital intensive.
Very capital intensive.
And it's not scalable.
No, because you can really only own real estate around you.
Exactly. So you might see me failing really hard down the line.
Doesn't matter.
I'm trying to build.
Yeah.
It does, but I'm trying to build a marketplace. And the spin-off of 8 Spaces is basically connecting the individuals in the platform. So the business I'm passionate the most about is Airbnb. So if I can make Airbnb happen for productive spaces, which is something I have noticed they are not willing to go towards that direction just yet.
Who, the Airbnb people themselves?
They are very focused on travel.
Yeah, why would they? I mean, it's not their space.
Absolutely.
They don't care.
So if I can make that happen for any sort of activities which is not sleeping, I would love to.
Right. The activities is not sleeping.
Yeah, my competitors are really not making it yet, and this is scary.
So are there competitors? You just operate in Malaysia?
No, absolutely. I started the business from Malaysia, but we are targeting the core cities of Southeast Asia as a start point.
So tell me, where is that? Manila?
Manila will be eventually included. Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh, Jakarta, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur. For now, we are only in Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok.
Oh, yeah.
I dare say I have a potential partnership in Bangkok.
Okay.
So
my business, but just
so
curious.
I would rather let them conquer the market. Yeah.
No problems.
Yeah.
No problems. I was just curious. Okay. And when did you start the business?
In May of 2014.
14.
No, I'm sorry. 15. I have a problem with years.
Yeah, I keep saying this year when it was really last year.
Exactly. So
but I think you get a bonus month to just continue to call January last year.
I'm about 8 months old.
You look older.
Yeah.
You're so much more mature.
It's my
Your complexion.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I started in May of the last year.
So 2015. So you haven't been around for that long.
Not really, and I started this business based on a very good principle that should work.
It should work.
But none of my comparables, I'd rather say comparables than competitors.
Yeah, because
are really making it yet. Like I don't have a comparable to say I am Uber for blah blah blah.
Yeah, you don't want to do that anyway.
No,
I think. But is there a winner take all thing here, or can there be multiple providers?
Marketplaces are generally a winner take it all.
They kind of are, right? Like there's really only one Amazon.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of people that do the sort of lodging model that you talk about. And some of them are really specific, like villas in Asia, and they're just very specific about this. They prosper. They don't get huge, but they still prosper and make a profit, no?
I think so. There are many people who are making good money in the shared find an office space online. And there are people coming out in Singapore now. I'm not in that though. I'm not in the find an office space, find a meeting room, only kind of business.
Right.
So we are looking at more like any sort of space based on the community listing it up.
Right.
And that model, none has made it yet. And it is the winner takes it all, because marketplaces are just basically about organizing information and making it easier for you to find a solution you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So you don't go to...
How long, just out of curiosity, right? How long did it take a business like Airbnb to get enough traction where they weren't scared? Do you know? Like, have you done that?
Yeah, I've basically watched, I believe, all the videos of the stories of Airbnb. Right now, I'm not quite sure about the years, but I'm sure it was not less than 4 years.
You know what I mean? So if you graph your growth against their growth, if it's the same, or if at least mirrors it at all.
Airbnb was like that. And then they would have a conference where people would be liking accommodation. They would have a peak.
For sure.
Like, yes, and then they would like it.
Right.
And then they actually sold cereal boxes.
Yeah.
And I've
done a lot of work.
That's a metaphor.
I've done a lot of work on this company. What's it a metaphor for, though?
Every time I'm telling, this is my cereal box.
Right.
My cereal box is like, basically, I want to take its spaces forward, but I'm doing cash flow activities.
What's the problem with that?
Absolutely
That's pretty standard for an entrepreneur, right?
Absolutely. And now I'm waiting to see this happening, and I identified some core issues, I believe, that other companies have for not succeeding, and it's all an assumption, but I believe with a curation, it's core, offering a great experience.
But I haven't looked at it yet, and I will though, but do you have the same type of social interaction on 8 Spaces, where if I rent a space for creative productivity, I can actually tell other people whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, whether it was convenient to get there, whether it was clean when I arrived, all these things?
So
is there a way to do, like, I don't want to say like TripAdvisor ratings, because I feel like that kind of stuff, I don't know, it's hard for me to believe. I don't know yet. Like, the jury for me is out on that. But I think a business like this always have to have some kind of social interaction.
So community-based business is all about the trust. Trust is basically the oil that makes the machine work. For
sure, but it's got to be there though, right?
So the app, inbuilt app trust creators, which are review system, 5 stars rating,
whatever.
These all are fundamental. 8 Spaces right now hasn't been launched as an app yet, so it doesn't include that. But one of the main things that we need to build in the app, which we are actually building now and probably launching for like the post-market research and beta kind of thing around March, we plan to build not only the rating, but also the connection between people. So we found that one of the core values that people want out of this is meeting other people who are in the platform. So even a spin-off of ours could be connecting people who can add value to each other through the platform. So it becomes more of not only like building trust from the rating and from reviews, but building trust by making people feel like they can give and take from each other.
Yeah, I mean, if you can build a community, so let's just say and just to be really general, right? But let's say there are a bunch of UX designers, right? And they're all independently looking for a place to do work for a day, right? Maybe if somehow they get connected on the platform as well, so it's not just a place where they go, excuse me, and look for the working spaces or space to be creative and productive, but look for people that have similar interests as well. Maybe that creates some traction or some stickiness on the platform.
Absolutely, and have a board where you can say, I just got a project and I'm a UX designer, I'm looking for programmers. Anyone wants to co-work with me.
But that's the thing, is anything you can do to create that community.
Absolutely.
And build around. So I always like to have a main business here, but build all these ancillary businesses around it, right? So it's a great concept of get the space. Now that I have this space and I have this project, how can I get these people related to either work with me? Exactly.
And the essence of it is like people need an excuse to get together.
For sure.
That's the secret of community building. You put an excuse and they come. Food or... And we want to scale community building. So how we do that? Through our own users. So the people become people who invite others to come work with them.
Absolutely.
So they are driving traffic in because they are the content themselves.
So what's the scariest part?
The scariest part is not having, it's that right now there's a lot of, it's a Frankenstein. It's my little Frankenstein who's not alive yet. It's a mix of business models and the assumption that what has been validated in different scopes will work as one business. I'm talking about social interaction. I'm talking about giving and taking in terms of content. I'm talking about people using a coffee shop they didn't use before or renting someone else's room to do a brainstorming session when currently this behavior does not exist. So I need to create behavior, and that's the scariest. I have always advised people, like, don't do a business where you gotta build behavior, where you gotta change culture.
This business has to work, though.
I hope so. Thank you for that.
Anyway, it was really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
No, thank you very much. I'm going to go for your name again.
LAIS.
I got it.
Oh, you got it.
I got it.
Nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank LAIS de Oliveira from 8 Spaces for talking with me. My name is Michael Waits, and this was a special edition of Michael Talks Tech. We have an amazing lineup of guests today. Chris KROL, building apps can be silly crazy. Guillaume Sachet, modernizing media. SHAWN, video ads get personal. NIKKI, building a mobile game studio. WASIN, THONKAEW, indie games. DJOANN, a story of community building and company building. CRV, GMASA founder and sponsor of this conference. NAMRATA KAPUR, insights on cloud services for startups. LAIS de Oliveira, started the Airbnb for office space in Southeast Asia. SAMSON MASIH, 50 billion impressions? Wow. IZHAK Rome, he'll tell us things about online gambling that you won't believe.